Because I feel like if we had to introduce this Cascade, or Cascade Cast, like that'd be pretty dope. Somehow they haven't gone for that. I'm a little disappointed, Steadfast.
I do believe Koss was actually a member of Cascade for a while.
Was he really?
I might be wrong about this.
That explains it.
But yeah, that was it. They just called him Cascade, I think, or it was like Cascade or something.
Nice.
Yeah, a little bit funky.
A little probe scout early here from SKillous. Now, Steadfast, do you know much about how SKillous operates? What his build orders look like? What he usually tends to do as a player?
Yeah, a little bit. He is a big fan of, very precise play. He is, I don't know if he's the one who came up with it, but he is one of the first players that I saw going for so normally when you open Phoenix in PvT, a lot of the times you go Phoenix Colossus. Just, they synergize well. The Vikings have so many things to target. It just kind of works out that way. But SKillous came up with something where you actually go for a very, very quick 8-gate charge lot play. And he used it to take down some of the top names in Europe.
Interesting. I feel like I've been seeing a lot of charge lot lately across all regions, EU, NA. I feel like a lot of Protoss players are really starting to dig into that very aggressive charge lot play. It seems to be a little bit more on the rise in the meta right now. And honestly, it always seems to do really well. Grant and I know have seen some great games here on the B stream with Protoss players like, it wasn't Harstem, but it was, maybe Goblin went for like a huge charge lot play, and it was completely unexpected. Or Geralt maybe went for this huge charge lot play, and both of us were like, "Wow, should he be going for like Void Rays or Immortals or something?" But no, that mass charge lot play, as you said, getting very, very popular. Looks like SKillous is going to start out with a Stargate opener, which is very common these days as well, and likely going to be Oracle or Phoenix out of there. Unlikely to see Void Ray in this PvT matchup, but Koss being very cautious back home. Bunker on the low ground, going for the factory up pretty quickly after the natural. All looks to be, and I don't, Steadfast, I mean, we got to lampshade this a little bit. I missed my buddy Grant today. He's recovering he went to hospital yesterday with an ear infection. Apparently he's feeling fine, but we're giving him the day off. And I do miss some of making fun of him because he's British, and British people are generally kind of dumb. And so I like to make fun of him for having like stupid Britishisms, and I'll like try and work him into the cast to see if he notices. And so I was about to say, it looks like everything going just tickety-boo here for these players at the beginning of the series. Are you familiar with that phrase at all?
I am very familiar with that phrase. As a Canadian, I'm basically like, like British light, I guess, a little bit.
So tickety boo is a Canadian thing, also.
I wouldn't go that far. I would say we're more like, what would be a good example of a Canadianism? Nice snipe in the main base, by the way, with its adept, picking off that SCV and may be able to get a second one. Oh, is he going to be able to get it?
His focus fire's been a little bit weak. He had that one SCV building the starport alive for a long time that he could have gotten a third glaive on it, but just didn't. So a bit of a rough start there. But yeah, missed a couple SCVs. Anyway, sorry. What is a good Canadianism as we see SKillous coming in with this Oracle play?
One of the most common ones is A. So like EH, like eh?
Oh sure.
Or one that's kind of a little bit of a misnomer. But that gets popularized. I kind of made fun of it yesterday. Is a boot. That's actually not as common in Canada. I would say that's more common in like some of the central northern, or I guess central northwestern states.
Okay, I've heard.
So like North Dakota, maybe Wisconsin.
Wow.
Yeah, because they're actually north of a lot of Canadians
of Canada, right? Isn't there something like a majority of Canadians actually live south of America? Because your big cities are actually south of the most northern parts of the USA.
Yeah,
I feel like I read something like that. I've always heard that a boot is like the Canadian version of y'all, where it's very regional. Like some places say it a lot, but not all over the place.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. We do have
this has been the happy fun dialect hour with Steadfast and Creighton. And now back to some StarCraft. What were you about to say that was actually related to the game, Steadfast?
Well, we see Armor first here, which is kind of interesting considering the fact that he's going into Blink Stalkers first.
Yeah.
A little bit surprising. But that being said, he did get a pretty nicely timed third base. His probe count is explosive, and this gateway explosion, any kind of pressure that Koss is going to try and put on, it's going to be running into A pretty strong defensive setup, I would say, from SKillous.
Yeah, this is ideal for a Protoss player, right? Look at his army supply. He's at 11. He's barely built anything. Look at his unit count. It's 4 Stalkers. He lost that Oracle earlier, but he's building another one to make up for it. And, like, he's got 4 Stalkers, and this is ideal, right? Probe. Stop probe production. Build 5 gateways. Warp in 1,000,000 Stalkers and Zealots. And just go. You're absolutely correct. It's very odd to see him going for that armor first, but we can see, as you suspected, charge zealots on the way behind this, and that makes so much sense. The armor upgrade first almost always indicates that you're going to go into charge lots, just because armor makes charge lots so freaking strong, Steadfast. Charge lots last forever. If they can hit their target, if they can stay alive long enough to charge onto whatever their target is, they're going to do massive damage. So the armor upgrade almost always pays off.
Yeah, it really does. And we see SKillous really delaying his robotics facility. So just focused so hard on dealing with this 2-base aggression that is going to be coming out of cost, this 3 racks play. And whoa, hold that thought. It's actually going to be a 4th and a 5th barracks. So this is going to be borderline all in from cost. He is really committing on these 2 bases.
Yeah, those are really late 4th and 5th bases. He's going to try a move out here as well. He's going to work on that. He's going for a +1 timing, obviously. With 1 engineering bay down, it generally means you're going to go for a +1 timing or a very, very late +1/+1. But the Stalkers out from SKillous doing exactly what they're supposed to do. That Stasis Ward doing a beautiful job slowing down, what is that, 10 Marines? A couple Marauder or Reaper even in there. And the continued revelations from the Oracle allow SKillous to see exactly what's going on. This feels like a very difficult push for SKillous to engage with Steadfast. Pardon me, let me start over again. This feels like a difficult push for Cass to engage with. I think SKillous is going to have so much back home, it's going to be so hard to win.
Yeah, and that was a really nice stasis ward because it bought the extra time it needed for... Oh, we're going to see an attempt on a feedback. No, he's not going to be able to get it down. And the anti-armor missile hits everything.
Wow.
I think every single Zealot just got tagged by that.
That's incredible. Incredible. Nice little try from SKillous. You're right, going for the feedback on that Raven to delay to deny the energy. But there's still tons of energy left in this singular Raven. But oh, I love this from SKillous, setting up for a bit of a flank.
Yeah, this could be devastating. And he's going to try and go as the anti-armor missile expires. Very nice timing right there. Really big anti-armor missile, but now this one does hit a little bit of Costa's army, and SKillous is just going to wipe the floor with this army. Medevacs, no way they're going to be able to escape. The Raven drops an auto turret, but man, what does that really do in the grand scheme of things?
Oh, I'd hate to be those Marines trapped up against a wall with a bunch of angry +1 armored up charged zealots. They got Rambo knives in their teeth and actual Rambo knives for arms, coming just to destroy you with your back against the wall as your air support flees the planet. Oh my gosh. Nice micro here from Cass to try and redrop this tank and save it, but I love that SKillous is being so aggressive here. It may be a bit of an overextension, like he may lose some more units here, but with continued Zealot warpins, that's going to be so much. And Steadfast, I know I talked over you a lot in that game, but my god, what a good first game from SKillous.
Yeah, that was just really, really crisp, really sharp, and very tight play. He got up to that 60 probe count, that magic 60 probe count on 3 bases so quickly. Like, it really felt like he was playing like a minute into the future. And that was thanks to, you know, kind of controlling space with that Oracle. You talked about he kind of cut units early on, and he cut tech as well. And he was able to get away with it. And Koss, he didn't punish that at all. And I mean, to be fair, he has no really way of knowing that he can. But SKillous just played that so tightly, and he absolutely shut down the 5 racks push from Koss. Yeah,
a really interesting choice from Koss to stay on 2 bases, but not pressure at all. I mean, there were think about the game. No Widowmine drops, no Hellion drops in the main, no Marine drops, no run-bys, no auto turret harass, no Liberator harass, no landed Viking, like all of the usual cards that Terran players will pull out of their deck and be like, okay, let's try this, let's try this, let's try this. He didn't even play any of those. He just stood back and tried to macro on 2 bases and really bet it all on that +1 timing attack that he was going for, and just got crushed there. It wasn't, I don't know if it was necessarily, I mean, it was a build order loss, but when you do that build order, you usually have to do a little bit more damage to try and make it work.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good idea to try and put on some pressure at the very least. Like something like Big Gabe, Hero Marine, loves to go for Widowmine drops. They're a minimal commitment, but they keep the Protoss player a little bit honest. But as you said, we didn't really see any of that from Koss. No Raven harass, no Widow Mine drops, no Hellion run-bys, nothing. And SKillous, by minute 5, he was up 15 workers.
Just unbelievable. I mean, again, that's if you're. I feel like if I'm describing to like a bronze level player how you want a StarCraft game to go, that's exactly the game I'm going to show them. I'm going to be like, look, you want to build nothing but economy for the first 10 minutes of the game, and then you want to build nothing but army for the next 10 minutes of the game, and then you want to go out and kill your opponent. And SKillous just able to play the game that he wanted to play. Let's go ahead and hop into game number 2 here on Death Aura LE. Steadfast, do you know what Death Aura is in French?
More something?
Oh, you're very close. Yeah, it's Aura de Mort, which is like, it sounds to me so cool. I don't know. I think it's just because I'm American and everything sounds cooler in French to me. But genuinely I love it when because obviously when a French player posts a lobby link from their account, it shows up in French, and I'm like, yeah, that's so cool. That's the only foreign language education I get these days is StarCraft map names from foreign players.
I mean, that's more than a lot of people are getting, to be honest.
The bar is so low for American education, Steadfast. It's not even funny. Well, let's intro our players here. Spawning in the bottom right-hand side, in the blue from Cascade Gaming in Russia, we got SKillous.
And his opponent spawning up in the top left, representing Starcom, it is the red Terran player, Koss.
Man,
sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, Koss, if Grant were here, I know he's lurking in the chat, but he usually calls him Papa Koss. One of the oldest players in the StarCraft 2 scene, has been around literally since the beta, been playing, I think, Warcraft 3 before then. Just about as old as they come as far as StarCraft 2 players go, and he is still just kicking it, still doing a great job.
Yeah, I think he might have been born with a keyboard.
I'm not too sure, but a difficult birth situation, to be certain. Sorry to all the mothers out there who just went, oh, I can feel it. Ugh.
Well, no, it's okay. The keyboard grew with him. It was a baby keyboard too, so yeah.
It was a baby keyboard. Okay, that's just adorable. Now I want to see a picture. I want to see a photo. Somebody photoshopped like a baby in a bassinet clutching a little tiny baby-sized keyboard. Oh my God. It's Steadfast. Was your I don't know what era you were born and what your parents were like, but did your mother ever have Lisa Frank? Oh no, sorry, not Lisa Frank. Ann Getty's calendars in the house. The babies like in fruit patches and like a baby. I don't know, like photos of babies doing adorable things.
We didn't have that. We did have. I definitely was born during that era, but
okay.
I don't think that was my mom's style per se.
Okay.
She was more of.
She was more
actually,
into Metallica.
I don't know. I was like 8, so I'm not really sure.
My mom had that stuff all over, but I can tell you, if somebody made a nerd version of that with like babies playing computer games and like shouting into a headset and stuff, I would definitely buy that calendar for my house. Even though I have no need for a physical calendar, I'd still buy it. No question. No question. Well, let's see what's going on here in the game. SKillous is going to go for a Robo first opener. Now, of the 3 openers available to Protoss players, Twilight Council, Stargate, and Robo, Steadfast, is it fair to say that Robo is the least common of the 3?
I would say that, yeah. Yep. I would say that's a very reasonable statement. There's some players that really prefer it stylistically. Someone like Petit Drogo really loves to go for 3-gate Robo. But wow. Yeah. That is not this.
No, that is not 3-gate Robo at all. A third base already down for SKillous. Okay. I don't want to say this is the greediest Protoss play available, because I think there are a couple builds that get a third base down before your tier 2 tech. Like they're, hilariously rare. But in proper competitive StarCraft play, this is about the greediest third base you could possibly get. But Steadfast, smart read from SKillous. He knew Cass really wasn't going to scout. He didn't really scout last game. He knows Cass likes to stay back on his bases and macro up a little bit more. And Cass is going bio again, so there's really no detriment to SKillous taking this really greedy, really early third base again.
Yeah, not so much. Cass does scout it with his Reaper, and that is good information for him to have. But he's already committed to the second and third barracks. And I feel like we're going to see probably a pretty similar situation to what we saw in the last game if Koss tries to commit, where SKillous, goes up to 60 probes. Once again, very, very... Oh, maybe not. He's going charge first.
Yeah, this is really interesting from SKillous. I think he realized that his blink didn't do much last game. And again, SKillous has such a good read. His Observer, of course, just out of range of the Cyclone, I think. Yeah, the Cyclone can't quite lock onto it. So the Observer still gets a great scout, right? Sees the 3 racks, sees that there's no third command center, and SKillous realizes, oh, it's the same build. I don't need blink early to save myself against this push, and as long as I slow down the push a little bit with like maybe a couple charge lots just to distract the tanks or something, he can easily win this game on the back of his 3 base economy and to end charge lots alone. We see him dropping 5 more gates and again going up to +1 armor. I hate to say that this is a carbon copy of game 1, but Steadfast, this is a carbon copy of game 1.
Yeah, besides that that quick blink, honestly, this kind of feels a little bit to me like SKillous wants to get in his opponent's face. Like he crushed the last push in game number 1.
Yeah.
But this feels like he wants to crush this push as it moves out. He's going up to a Templar Archives. We're probably not going to be seeing Blink for a little bit of time. And, well, he's going to have a very, very scary fighting army as these gateways come online.
Up to 7 gates as well, which is, or 8 gates. It's always hard to tell when the gates are warping in, because sometimes they don't show up on the structures tab. It is just going to be 7 gates exactly. The Reaper gets in for a scout. This Reaper, by the way, still alive from the beginning of the game. Impressive stuff. Will finally get cornered by these Stalkers and take it down. Good scouts here. Is he attacking his own pylon? Oh, he was there. Bit of a misclick from SKillous. What the hell was that? Anyway, Reaper gets in for a full scout, and I mean, surely Koss realizes he can't win this game on a +1 push again. Right, Koss? Come on, buddy. You can't win this game off of a +1 push again. Koss, you can't. Buddy. Yeah. Oh, Steadfast. Oh, no. He's trying it.
Yeah, he is trying it. He is moving out a fair bit earlier than he did in game number 1. So this is going to, theoretically, it would have a better chance to get something done. But because SKillous went for that fast charge, I feel like this is just going to be a really rough scenario. Oh, the boys have been pulled.
Oh, the boys have been pulled, but SKillous sees it here. His Observer sees this attacking army. A giant anti-armor missile, but it's not going to pay off here. That's just wasted Raven energy, as a force field is going to prevent this army from getting down this ramp, and that buys just enough time. SKillous should barely be able to shake that anti-armor missile, and I don't know if the Raven has enough energy for a second one. Okay, he does, but now the army split here from SKillous, and already setting up some charge lots on the north side for a big flank. The army supply is roughly even, but with shield batteries and a terrible anti-armor missile here. This is a great early engagement from SKillous.
Yeah, and one of the tanks getting caught in the back, another one unsieged, and the Immortals and Charge Lots and Archons are just tearing through this army. SKillous does have his Archons kind of blocking out some of the Charge Lots, but as they go down, they actually let the Zealots through. And, well, Koss pulled the boys with this. And while the army fight looks kind of even on paper,